What's up, everybody? This is your boy Ken, aka MrGentleman, your host of MrGentleman Like That podcast, and this week's sponsorship is from Newsly. Newsly is a all-in-one audio super app for iOS and Android. It picks up web articles about the most trending topics on the web at any given moment and read them to you in a natural human voice. For the first time in ever on the internet, the entire web becomes listenable, all in one place. Browse articles from topic you choose, start playing, start scrolling, and start listening. You can follow any topics as you specifically as you like, from sports, science to Bitcoin, even for the Kardashians. It will find you on the latest article and you read them to you out loud. And they have podcasts as well. Explore trending podcasts from over 50 countries. Our podcast, MrGentleman Like That podcast, is on there as well. Yes, it is. Shout out to Newsly for that. I started using it as my default podcast app. Download and use Newsly for free from www.newsly.me or from the link in the description. Use the promo code MrGentleman that I will also put in the description and receive 1 month free premium subscription. So you already know, y'all. Download Newsly now. Check it out. Support them, y'all. This is your boy Ken, aka MrGentleman, your host of MrGentleman Like That podcast, and enjoy the show. You are now listening to MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast Season 5. Hello, everybody. This is your boy Ken, aka MrGentleman, 1/4 of the Premier Podcast, your host of MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast. And welcome to another new episode of MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast. Hope all is well. And yes, I know, y'all, it had been a while since I put out an episode. But sometimes, life tends to get in the way. And it tends to mess up all of your plans. So, as of now, episode 99 of the main series of MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast, this will be the season 5 finale. And I will be discussing about season 5 as a whole, the highs and the lows, why season 5 have been shortened, how the season have been shorter, what's been going on with me as a whole, updates on all the spin-off shows from MrGentleman Like the Podcast, and also season 6 of MrGentleman Like That Podcast also will answer, will season 6 will be my last season of MrGentleman Like the Podcast. So I will answer all the questions on this episode. So, but until then, y'all already know what to do. Sit back, relax, and I'll be right back.
Hey everyone, this is Chewy, host of Screaming Chewy Show. And hey, what is this you're listening to right now with very inspirational content and music? Amazing. You're listening to the MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. And at this time, I will be giving y'all the MrGentleman Facts quote of the day. And today's quote of the day is, never lose faith in yourself, because one day your hard work will pay off. And I say this because we all go through hard times when we dealing with life stuff, dealing with our businesses, and many more. But even through those hard times, you cannot never lose faith in yourself, because you just gotta remember hard time is temporary. And once you get out of that hard time, get out of that dark place, things will be a lot more better. I promise you that. Things will be a lot more better. And that is today, Mr. Gentleman Facts, quote of the day. Hello, everybody. This is your boy Ken, aka MrGentleman of MrGentleman Like That Podcast. And this commercial break is brought to you by MrGentleman Like That Podcast, where we bring many guests telling about their stories about their brand they got going on. Also about me telling y'all my personal stories about things that are going on in my life. Also, we have many spin-off shows on MrGentleman Like That Podcast called The Old School Show, with myself and the Star Writing Rod, where we talk anything old school, which happen every 4th or 5th Sunday at 12 a.m. on the MrGentleman Like That Podcast Network. And another spin-off show called A Conversation About Music Podcast, where we talk to many artists about their music journey. And also we have a roundtable music discussion about anything music, and which should come on every first Sunday at 12 a.m. on MrGentleman Like That Podcast Network. And yeah, you already know, if y'all need a podcast to listen to, check out MrGentleman Like That Podcast. We're on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Good Pod, and many more. Y'all can rate the show 5-star rating on Good Pod, Podchaser, and Apple Podcasts. You know, the more y'all rate, the more love the show get. Y'all can also check it out on YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube now. Ken, aka MrGentleman Like That TV. And also support the website of MrGentleman Like That Podcast, MrGentlemanLikeThatPodcast.com. This is your boy Ken, aka MrGentleman, and have a good day, night, wherever you're listening to this episode. Back to the show. Chill!
Hi, my name is B Wise, and you are listening to Mr. Gentleman's Lifestyle Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. And, you know, at this time, as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, this episode was not the original episode. Originally, this episode was supposed to be episode 99 with myself and Aaron King Talk Sands. And we were supposed to do the promoter story part 2, and then next episode will be the 100 episode celebration, and then the season 5 finale, which is the All-Star SummerSlam prediction episode. But due to life, things had to change and not go as planned. So now this will be the season 5 finale, which is called The Next Move. And I'm probably wondering myself, what is the next move for me? But first, before I answer that, how am I doing? And if you want me to be completely honest, this year as a whole been pretty tough. Like, I honestly have more losses than wins. I mean, not losses as in losing, death, but losses as in things not going according to my plans. But of course, we all know that life don't always go according to plan. You know, that's something that I really learned to deal with, this whole year. And this year for me started off bad because I started off this year with having COVID. Dealing with COVID for December, like the week of New Year's Eve, until literally almost in January. Then after that, dealing with the after effect of COVID, with that, the last stuff was lingering for like a little bit more. Then dealing with, nonsense podcast beef for no reason at that. which is weird, very weird, to dealing with fake friends or fake supporters that, smiling in your face and they're talking crap behind your back. And then also the current thing that I'm dealing with, finance issues and stuff like that, would cause me to put a lot of my plans, on the side, because we had to deal with that, And as a person that's 35, and not being where you at, it could bring, depression. It could make you feel less than yourself. And I'm not gonna hold you, being not where I'm at the moment bothered me. But I tend to take a step back and realize that sometimes we have to go through setbacks before we get to our major comeback. And even through these hard times that I'm dealing with right now, I continue to tend to stay positive. I know better days are coming. And that's one thing that I always keep a major reminder of, while doing the hard time. Because also, sometimes no progress means you're going to stay the way you are. So you got to make some kind of progress to really change the situation. And of course, yeah, I am doing that right now, People don't need to know if I'm doing that now, because I know my progress I'm doing it. And I know that situation will change when the time is right, when the opportunity presents itself. I know my time is coming, and I believe that. Nobody is not going to tell me what I'm doing and what I'm not doing, But for the most part, I'm blessed to be alive. I'm blessed to have people, family and friends, being here. I'm happy that even though things is hard right now, I know in my heart that I'm gonna get through this, y'all. And this is not for y'all to feel sorry for me. This is not that at all. I just felt like I needed to be honest with y'all on what's going on, because I wasn't gonna do no episode at all. I was not gonna do no episode at all. I was just gonna to take a long break and just not put nothing out. But I felt like since y'all have been listening to me, for these 3 years, y'all deserve a proper season 5 finale. And thank you for all y'all that have been supporting me this year, because it means a lot. But yeah, y'all deserve this. I want to do this episode for y'all and let y'all know let's be honest on what was going on. Because I get it. Y'all understand that I'm consistent when it comes to my podcast content. I can honestly say I'm one of the most consistent podcasters out there. Believe it or not, I believe I am one of the most consistent podcasters out there. And when it comes to my brand and when it comes to something I love, I put my heart and soul into this, There's no denying that. But, when life get in the way on something that you love, sometimes you might have to take a step back and figure out your next move. And that's what I got to do right now, I got to figure out my next move. And once things is good, things are a lot more better, I will come back 10 times stronger. And that's what I want to do for season 6. But before we get to season 6, though, before we can season 6, y'all already know that. I already told y'all what's been going on and the changes. And why the season, so that's why the season got shorter, because life just got in the way, and I had to change up many things. Originally, this season was supposed to have 21 episodes, but now we shortened it to 19 because life got in the way. But I promise y'all, for season 6, y'all will have more episodes, which we will get to that when we get to season 6. But first thing first, this year had not been too much lows though, because other than my personal life, it's been a lot of lows in my personal life. But when it came to the podcast brand itself, when it came to MrGentleman, like the podcast itself, we have a lot of highs and a lot of goals that I did set for the show. Shockingly enough, really what conquered this in between the end of 2021 to now. A lot of the goals that I conquered for this podcast show have have been conquered. And I want to thank everybody for the support for that. Thank you for everybody that been listening, all the old listeners that been around from the beginning, all the new listeners that I got, recently, whether it's from Good Pods, or whether it's from other podcasters, or whether it's from just hearing everything that I've been doing, just thank y'all, and as for these goals that were conquered this year, we are now at 22,000 plays. So that's been the big move. We got to 2,000Ks. 2,000Ks back in, I believe, December. So now we have 2,200K and it's still growing to this day. So thank y'all. I also said at the end of last year that I want to make sure my show get to #1 on Good Pop Society Culture. And we definitely did conquer that. We conquered that by the time of the anniversary in January 2020. The show got to #1, And also I wanted to get on more charts this year too, which we have got on more charts on Apple Podcasts as well. We got on Jamaica, we got on charts on Great Britain. We just got on the Philippines literally the other day. So, like I said, I want to thank you everybody that have been supporting, the show from MrGentleman, like the podcast. It really means a lot. It really, shocking, And you already know when I'm counting these achievements, when I say thank y'all, I really mean thank y'all because, like I said, I always say at the start of the show, dealing with, bullying as a kid, speech problems. Not many people understand the way you speak because you can't pronounce certain words. People mark you because of that. So for me to continue to do the show and not letting that get to me, letting my past get to me, and people actually hearing my stories and hearing all my guest stories, even have some fun conversation. We do have fun conversation on the show. It means a lot that everybody really listening. A lot more than I thought. Let's just say that, a lot more than I thought. It's listening in, really tuning in every week. So for that, I thank y'all, from the bottom of my heart. It really means a lot, y'all. And I just thank y'all. I thank for all the new listeners that really tune in, I thank y'all for that. Also, I want to take the time to thank the guests that came to season 5 of MrGentleman, like the podcast, which is the next topic. How do I feel about season 5 as a whole? I felt like season 5 was like a step up, to embrace the new change that I have for season 4. And I really enjoyed the stuff. I really enjoyed it. And it felt like I finally got the vision of where my show is headed. And I felt like season 5 showcased that a lot more. I know season 6 and beyond, we're going to showcase a lot, even more. But I felt like season 5 showcased that a lot. And with the guests, a lot of guests with a lot of people that wanted on the show. So a lot of the guests for season 5 were pretty much handpicked guests. A lot of them was guests that I always wanted on my show. And for that fact that I'm literally all the guests people that I wanted, is a good feeling. So as y'all know, season 5 of MrGentleman, like the podcast, started in November of 2021. And the first episode, we started off with episode 81, with the first guest was Estelle Rose, host of All in Water podcast, which I really enjoyed this interview. We spoke about her podcast show, we spoke about mental health and more, and I really enjoyed this episode. Of course, we did have some issue with the audio for that episode, but other than that, that was a good interview. If it wasn't for the audio, it could have been one of my favorite interviews for the season. But once again, thank you, Miss Penelope Rose, for coming on the show this season. I definitely want to bring you back for a part 2 interview. I feel like there's a lot more to talk about with you. Then we had episode 82, which was the best of the best Survivor Series prediction episode with myself and King Talk Sands. As always, I already know how we do it with these wrestling prediction episodes. Episode 83, we had Miss Kendra Crump on the show. You know, a comedian. She also a podcast host with the Kendra Crump Show. This episode was shockingly, surprisingly, one of my highest episodes for the season. For the main series, this was my highest episode for the season. And I ain't gonna hold you, she is hustling, y'all. She done over 800 podcast interviews within 2 years. That is really amazing. So I just want to take the time and shout out Miss Kendra Crump for just killing it. And you know, check out her, you know, her podcast show, the Kendra Crump Show. Support her, y'all. Next we have Miss Anna K. Hackerson, host of For Change Be Bold, who is also a part of the Korok committee. And I gotta have to say, Miss Anna K. Hackerson was one of my favorite guests this season. She was one of my favorite guests this season. We had a really good conversation. It was a really fun interview. I really loved this interview. I'm not even gonna lie. And she was also the guest who got me my first giveaway. When we had two winners for the giveaway, you know, Paige and Cynthia. And yeah, and once again, Miss Anna K. Hackerson, thank you for coming on the show and blessing me with an amazing interview. Definitely one of my favorite interviews this season. One of my favorite interviews. I still got two more favorite interviews I'm gonna mention. So after Miss Anna K. Hackerson, we had the Christmas episode of MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast. And originally it was supposed to be a solo episode, but I decided to bring some podcasters in. We had Miss Christy Christ for Footstool Podcast on the show, who is nominated for the People Awards right now. So shout out to Miss Christy Christ right now. We had Angelica from A Little Bit of Everything With Me on the show as well, who is also nominated for a podcast award too. So shout out to actually more than one podcast award, I should say. So shout out to Angelica from A Little Bit of Everything With Me. And also shout out to Cynthia from our collaboration station and Listen and Learn podcast. She recently won a giveaway recently to help her podcast brand. So, you know, shout out to her, you know, for that as well. All three of them was on the show. It was a funny Christmas episode, y'all. We were just talking about mini Christmas movie, mini Christmas things, Christmas memories, and it was really fun. And thank y'all ladies for coming on the show. I guarantee y'all, all three of them will be back in the show in a future episode. I guarantee y'all, whether season 6 or beyond. Thank y'all. So after that, we have the first episode of 2022, which was Dubai 2021, Hello 2022. Basically recapping the year 2021 and also about what to come for 2022. And then, of course, after that, I got COVID. So you already know that. You already know that journey had to put a lot of the episodes on hold. And originally, for those 2 weeks in January, the next 2 weeks in January, before the anniversary episode, originally Rose C, the Haitian Mama, and Destiny Unique episode was supposed to be the two next episodes, but due to me having COVID, I had to put the episode back. And instead, we had a bonus episode for that week, and then we had no episode the following Sunday. Then we had the 3rd year anniversary episode after that, which became my biggest episode this year so far. And y'all already know I love talking about my podcast journey, and I love people hearing it because you never know who are you inspiring. So thank you everybody that took time to listen to the episode, man. That's one of my favorite episodes. So, you know, a couple days later, we have episode 87. And we had Miss Destiny Unique on the show, which we were talking about her modeling journey. She also could sing, she got music talent, and more. And thank you Miss Destiny Unique for coming to the show. We all gonna bring her back in a future episode. Conversation about music when she started doing some more music thing. I am looking forward to that because this girl really had talent, y'all. And, you know, can't wait for her to come back on the show. After that, we had the Royal Rumble prediction with Aaron Quinto Sands, which I believe was one of our biggest wrestling prediction episode at the time on Good Pies. So, yeah, that was a good episode, y'all. That was a good episode. So after that, we had episode 89, which was we had Miss Rose C, the Haitian Mama, host of Mama Life podcast on the show. It was a good interview, and shout out Mama Life, y'all. Mama Life is a really good podcast show, y'all. And if you're a parent, y'all should definitely listen to the show. It gives many tips about parenting. And shout out to her, man. She very consistent. She very supportive. Thank you for being in support of the show. And I definitely go support you as well. Thank you, Miss Rose C. So then we have the Love is Love 2022. Y'all already know what I do on the Valentine's Day episode. I express about my love life, which is probably the only time before we had Date Night Talk, of course. I express about my love life on the episode, and it's always a good time. Which was funny because that and the Rose C episode drop on literally back to back. One on Sunday and one on Monday. So yeah, and then we had the mid-season finale, which was Queen Janae episode, which was a dope interview. It was a really good conversation. She could really talk, man. And thank you for just doing an amazing thing and coming on my show, blessing me about you with your stories. This means a lot. And also I announced about Miss Vanna B being the co-host of Date Night Talk as well in that episode. Of course, we had a long break from the main series for like a month, and then we came back with the spin-off series. But then we returned with the first episode for the second half of season 5, which was the most stupendous WrestleMania prediction episode with Aaron King Sands and long live the Chief Molly Bell on the show. And y'all already know that was a fun episode too. I take that back. I think this was the biggest episode, the biggest wrestling prediction episode on Good Pies. It was this episode. I got the information wrong. It was this episode. So then episode 93, I discussed about my COVID journey, which was the second biggest episode on Good Pies for Mr. Gentleman Like the podcast. Then we had my second favorite interview for the season. We had Treacherette from the Kingdom Chat podcast, and this was a really dope interview, y'all. It was a really dope interview. She really opened up about a lot, and she killing it right now. And thank you, Miss Treacherette, for coming to the show. You definitely delivered one of my favorite interviews for this season as well. So once again, I thank you for that. Next, we have episode 95, which is Miss Estelle Rose, which was a sleeper interview because when she did her interview, she was really shy. But honestly, she did not come off shy. And also, I'm gonna have to say this, Miss Estelle Rose, you became a fan favorite. Everybody loved your interview. Like, I'm dead serious. A lot of people love your interview, and for that, you became like the fan favorite this season. So thank you for coming to the show. Hey, everybody, check out her books. That's on Amazon right now. Planted the Seed That Blossomed Me, and in the Crisis of Lust. Support her, y'all. She's an amazing person. Support her, y'all. Miss Estelle Rose. Of course, after that, we had the my 35th birthday celebration episode, and then episode 96. The reason why I love podcasting, we're pretty much telling y'all why I love podcasting. Is y'all need the list of the episode. The link is in the show notes, which is, let's just say this episode is kind of like a part 2 to that. Let's just say that. It's kind of like a follow up. This episode, the follow up to that episode. So listen, the link is in the bio. The link is in the show notes. So check out that episode. The reason why I love podcasting. Then episode 97, which is my other favorite interview for the season. We have Amanda from Dating Will Be the Death of Me, and this was I appreciate her for telling her story, being so honest and being so open about all her dating stories and stuff like that. And I'm looking forward to having her back on the show as a part 2 interview. I know there's many more stories to tell, and I'm also looking forward to come on her show real soon as well. So thank you, Amanda, for blessing you with your stories and come on the show. You know, a lot of people really love your interview, and thank you. And then, of course, the last episode we had was the Money in the Bank prediction episode with Aaron Keto Sands. And yeah, and here we are, and that's season 5. And y'all know I'm a little disappointed that season 5 got a shorter season. But like I said, life does happen. And sometimes we can't control what happened with life. I'm just happy that I'm able to deliver y'all a season 5 finale that y'all deserve. So that's all that matters. And yeah, that's season 5. Next, I'm gonna give y'all an update on the Promoter Podcast, because I do got some question about that. People asking about the Promoter Podcast. What am I doing on it right at the moment and stuff like that. So what the update on Promoter Podcast? You want me to be honest? There is no update. Honestly, I can't even answer that question for y'all. When the Promoter Podcast come back, I don't know. I can't even answer that. I don't know. I don't know the stat for Promoter Podcast. I can't. I gotta be honest with y'all. I'm sorry about that. You know, I could say, you know, season 1 and season 2 is available right now. Y'all can check it out. As for me being a part of it at the moment, you know, y'all heard the season 2 finale of the Promoter Podcast. Yes, I left the show. When I come back, I will come back, but not right away. Until we figure out what's going on, I can't answer what's going on with the Promoter Podcast. I cannot answer that at all. But yeah. So now I'm gonna give an update on what's going on with the spin-off series of the Gentleman Like the Podcast. Starting with a conversation about music podcast, which was ended earlier and ended in May, and season 2 for that will be returning in October. Oddly, this is the only show as of right now that got a set date, as in when it's returning, you know, and stuff like that. So October, season 2 of a conversation about music podcast will be returning in October. Date Night Talk podcast, which I feel bad about Date Night Talk because it was hit with this life situation. The Date Night Talk podcast had 2 more episodes before we take a short break and return second half of season 1. But due to this, I'm not 100 to when Date Night Talk can come back. I'm hoping maybe September, hopefully. That's all I can say about Date Night Talk. Hopefully September, and we just knock out the whole season all the way through with no breaks. So we see what happens with that. If things change, we'll update y'all on Date Night Talk. The Old School Show. I originally had the date of this returning in August, but due to recent events, I can't answer that at the moment either. The Old School Show will be put on hold until further notice. So, hopefully soon, as things change, I'll keep y'all posted on that. But for the Old School Show, I do not know when that comes back at the moment. And now, season 6 of the Gentleman Like the Podcast. When is season 6 dropping? All I can say about season 6 is later this year. Season 6 will be dropping later this year. I just don't have a release date for season 6 at the moment. I say this. Once I handle all the personal stuff, season 6 will drop right away. I say that. Let's just say that. To also answer people, will season 6 be my last season? I can give you an easy answer for that. No. I know I've been teasing season 6 as the final season for a minute. And I ain't gonna hold you, I did wanted to end this season at season 6. I thought about it because I wanted to reset and make a completely new show. But then I thought about it and realized, like, no, Mr. Gentleman Like the Podcast is my brand. Why would I start off a whole new brand when this is the show that really made me me? You know, really made me me. And my name is Ken and Mr. Gentleman. So I decided to not to change that decision and just keep the show going. Also, on top of that, there's many more stories to tell. I do have a lot of dream guests that I want on my show. Cause I know a lot of these dream guests that I have my eye on. They have a lot of stories, especially a lot of these podcasters in the indie podcast community. I got a lot of eye on these indie podcasts. Should I drop some names? Should I drop some names of some of these people I want on the show, or should I just surprise y'all? I mean, this is a lot of podcasts that are doing amazing things right now. You know, the Red Dove podcast, Wild Night with Rocky, Kathy Vaz, Live and Listen, Pedal of Support, Geeky Dad. You know, a lot of these podcasts are doing amazing things right now. You know, Dope Interview Podcasts, a Lullaby Podcast. You know, y'all already know, always root for the underdog. So, you know, Suffer Black. It's a lot of podcasts that I really want on my show because I know they tell amazing stories. And I listen to their podcasts on a daily, you know. And basically, if I support you on a regular, I want you all y'all on my show. So y'all hear this. This is an open invitation for every podcaster that I support. And I know I support y'all. This is basically an open invitation that I want y'all on my show for season 6 and beyond. And also for season 6, I want to step up the production a lot more. You know, I want to make this even better than what it is right now. Okay, people say my production is good, but I feel like it could be a lot better. I know right now it's okay, but I know I could do a better job to give y'all the content that y'all deserve and everything like that. And of course, you know, upgrading everything with money. Hopefully, you know, y'all don't have to do this, but you know, support the show with some donation would be dope. I want to get a brand new everything to you know, upgrade everything. New mic, new laptop, you know, new chair, you know, everything. I want to give everybody the content that they deserve, because everybody deserve it, you know. And I want everybody to keep listening, and I appreciate each and every one of y'all. So, season 6 will be dropping this year. No release date yet. It basically will be ASAP. So when things together, I would know 2 weeks in advance that season 6 is dropping, and most likely after that, all the spin-off show will most likely follow after that. So when things together, I'll bring y'all season 6, all the spin-off shows after, and then here I go. And then my podcast goals. I mean, it's a funny thing, a lot of podcast goals already conquered between November to now. So my next podcast goal is to get the show to 100K or even 100K. Also, I want to be number 1 on Good Pod for top 100 shows. I'm not gonna hold you. I was so close this year. I was number 4 for top 100 show. That was the highest that I got this year so far. I want to be number 1, even if it's just for one day. I want to be number 1 because that would be a great goal of mine, you know, and stuff like that. For the show, for now. This is like the short-term goal. This is short-term goals, by the way. Long-term goal, I gotta tell y'all about that another time. But another goal 2 goals that supposed to happen this year that it didn't happen, but it still might be chance. The first one is have a celebrity guest on the show. I know that I'm down for everyday people that I know come on the show, tell their story. But I do want to know about the celebrity guests who started from the bottom to get to where they at. I want to interview those people. You know, like my guy Ryan Leslie. Like he's one person that I want on my show for the longest. That's the one person I really want to interview. Y'all already know, if y'all know Ryan Leslie, tell them to hit me up. And there's a lot of people that I want to interview on the show. And have a celebrity guest. Hopefully by this year, maybe next year anniversary, 4th year anniversary. Have a celebrity guest for the show. And the second goal that I want for the podcast show that's supposed to happen this year, it might be too late because this is the season of award season right now. It had MrGentleman, like the podcast, be nominated for the award and win an award. And I'm not sure if that's going to happen this year, but possibly maybe next year that could happen. But if it do happen this year, that'd be great, but I don't think so. But I'll see that go for next year. But yeah, and I just want to take the time to thank you everybody for tuning in to this season 5 finale of Mr. Gentleman and Like the Podcast, and I'll be right back. Hello, everybody. This is your boy Ken, aka MrGentleman. I'm MrGentleman Like the Podcast and the Premier Boy Podcast. And this commercial break is brought to you by MrGentleman Like the Podcast spin-off shows. And MrGentleman Like the Podcast has many spin-off shows, but we're gonna talk about this one fan favorite spin-off show called The Old School Show with myself and the star writer Rod, where we talk anything old school, from movies, music, TV shows, childhood memories, and many more. Love this show because of this nostalgic feel, and it's always been fun when we have many special guests come to the show. And you know, if y'all want to check out this spin-off show, y'all can check it out every 4th and sometimes 5th Sunday at 12 a.m. Every 4th and sometimes 5th Sunday at 12 a.m. Also, we have another spin-off show called A Conversation About Music Podcast, where we talk to many unsigned artists about their music journey, and we play their song on the show, so many audience could know about their music. I wanted to create a platform from unsigned artists so they could come on the show, and so we could spread the word so everybody could take the time and take out their music and stuff like that. Also on the show, we have many roundtable discussion about music. And if y'all want to check out this show, y'all can check it out every first Sunday at 12 a.m. Every first Sunday at 12 a.m. You can check out both spin-off shows on Mr. Gentleman Like the Podcast Network. And of course, we have many more spin-off shows coming real soon. But you can check out The Old School Show and A Conversation About Music Podcast right now. And this is your boy Ken, aka Mr. Gentleman, from Mr. Gentleman Like the Podcast. And have a good day or night wherever you're listening to this episode. Now back to the show. Choo! I just want to take the time to thank everybody for tuning in to the latest episode of Mr. Gentleman Like the Podcast, the season 5 finale of Mr. Gentleman Like the Podcast. Thank you everybody that tuned in all season or just tune in the show in general. It means a lot. Thank you for every listen, every share, every rating, every opinion, every voice, word of mouth. And everything, y'all. Thank y'all for just supporting the show. It really means a lot. From the bottom of my heart, I thank y'all for supporting Mr. Gentleman Like the Podcast. Also, I gotta thank my guests for season 5. If it wasn't for them, it would be no show. I wouldn't want to talk by myself for all 20 episodes. So I want to thank my guests for this season for coming on with the Gentleman Like the Podcast. Y'all already know I acknowledge my guests. So shout out to Miss Penelope Rose from Oil and Water Podcast. Thank you to Kendra Crump. Thank you to Destiny Unique. Thank you Miss Annika Hackinson from For Change Be Bold Podcast. Thank you to Rose C, the Haitian Mama. Thank you to Queen Janae. Thank you to Tourette from the Kingdom Chat Podcast. Thank you to Miss Estelle Rose. And thank you to Amanda from Dating Will Be the Death of Me for being the guest for this season. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. It means a lot. And thank you to all my returning guests from Mr. Gentleman Like the Podcast. Thank you to Aaron King Talk Sands from King Talk with Aaron Sands. And also the Premier Boy Podcast. Thank you to Long Live the Chief Mally Mel from the Premier Boy Podcast and the new podcast show, The Bridge. Thank you to Angelica from A Little Bit of Everything With Me. Thank you to Christy Christ for Fifth Fourth Podcast. And thank you to Cynthia from our collaboration station and Listen and Learn podcast for returning on the show this season. It means a lot. And thank you to all my guests. Y'all are killing it and doing big things. If it wasn't for y'all, it would not be no show. So for that, I thank y'all for all that y'all do. Even though we do not have a release date to season 3 of the Remember podcast. Also, my status with the Remember podcast, we still don't know when I'm returning. But for now, check out season 1 and season 2 of the Remember podcast with myself, Aaron King Talk Sands, the Star Riding Ride, and long live the Chief Mighty Mao. The Remember podcast season 3, we do not know when it's coming back, but hopefully it will be returning soon. Also, look out for the show that I'm executive producers of. Look out for Aaron King Talk Sands show, King Talk with Aaron Sands, season 3, September 23rd. So look out for season 3 of Aaron King Talk Sands podcast show, King Talk with Aaron Sands, season 3, September 23rd. And look out for another show that I'm executive producer of, Star Riding Ride show, in conversation with a star, coming real soon. Also, y'all already know where I'm at every Sunday. MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast each and every Sunday, and every first and third Thursdays at 12 a.m. We're on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Good Pods, and many more. Y'all can rate the show 5-star rating on Good Pods, Spotify, Podchaser, Apple Podcasts. The more y'all rate the show, the more people know about MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast. Check out the spin-off series of MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast. MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast presents the Old School Show with myself and the Star Riding Ride every 4th or 5th Sunday at 12 a.m. We do not know when we are returning for second half of season 2, but check out all other episodes of the Old School Show right now. MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast presents a conversation about music podcast every first Sunday at 12 a.m. Season 2 of a conversation about music podcast in October. Remember, this is the only show out of the spin-off series that have a release date. So October, a conversation about music season 2 in October. And MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast presents Date Night Talk Podcast with myself and Miss Vanna B. Every first and third Thursdays at 12 a.m. Every first and third Thursdays at 12 a.m. At the moment, the show is on hold, but hopefully we return between August and September for the rest of season 1, y'all. So check out all of the spin-off series of MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast, y'all. And if you want to be a guest on my show for all the spin-off series, the Old School Show, Date Night Talk, a conversation about music, and season 6 of MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast, send me an email about yourself and everything that you do with a picture for the flyer cover art to my email, Ken, ypgent@gmail.com, Ken, ypgent@gmail.com, or y'all can hit me up on social media, Ken _MrGentleman. I repeat, Ken, Ken _Mr. MR Gentleman, GENTLEMAN, and I will book y'all and set y'all up because I am looking for many guests for season 6. And y'all already know, add me on Good Pod, Ken MrGentleman. Everybody should get Good Pod. It caters to many independent podcasters. You can see what everybody listening to. You can rate each other's shows, and we are on, and we have the charts. And y'all already know at this time, I will be doing the chart review for Good Pod, Apple Podcasts, and many more. So right now, I will be doing it for Good Pod, and at the moment, MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast for top 100 shows. We are number 42 for the normal charts, and we are number 34 for the indie chart. I know I did not put out an episode for a while, so my show dropped tremendously. And, for society and culture, we are number 8 for both normal and indie podcasts. And for documentary, we are through number 1 for both normal and indies. And we just got back to number one for the documentary. So thank you everybody that continue to support Mr. Gentleman like the podcast. And we stayed number one for the indies for like 4 months, y'all. And wow, once again, thank y'all for really tuning in to Mr. Gentleman like the podcast. This really means a lot. I thank y'all. For now, we are also on the Apple podcast charts. You know, we are through for the podcast charts in Jamaica for documentary. We are number 57 at the moment. So we are 57 on the Apple podcast charts in Jamaica for documentary. And recently we've been added to more charts. We are also in documentary for Great Britain, number 169. So shout out to Great Britain for supporting Mr. Gentleman like the podcast. And also shout out to the Philippines, because we are number 70 for society and culture in the Philippines. And we are also number 4 for documentary in the Philippines. So thank you everybody that been listening to Mr. Gentleman like the podcast all over the world. It really means a lot. And once again, I thank y'all, man. I really thank y'all. So y'all already know, check out the website www.realmrgentlemanlikethepodcast.com www.realmrgentlemanlikethepodcast.com. Y'all can listen to all the episodes of Mr. Gentleman Like the Podcast. Y'all can watch all the YouTube videos on Mr. Gentleman Like the Podcast page on the website. Y'all can look at all the guest profiles and maybe also check out future guests as well on the profile as well. Y'all can check out blogs. Y'all can check out every interview appearance that I've been on, which I also got some more interview guest appearance being added. Also should be on Badass Fabulous with Paige show coming real soon. Also will be on the Friend Zone podcast coming real soon as well, which also will be a bonus episode on this show. And also get on the website to look up for updates on season 6 and many more. So you will find all your updates on that. Also get the merch store from T Public, Mr. Gentleman Like the Pocket merch store. Y'all can get that through the website as well. Way to support the show. Y'all can listen to the show. Y'all can rate on Apple Podcasts, Podchaser, Good Pods, and Spotify. Y'all can donate through Good Pods. Y'all can donate through Twitter. Y'all can donate through Buy Me Coffee. Y'all can donate by buying a merch. Cause right now I really need it so I can upgrade my production for season 6. So if y'all buy some merch, y'all donate in some kind of way, let help upgrade the production for season 6. So that's the plan. And once again, thank y'all for all y'all support and thank you for listening. And y'all already know. So this is the season 5 finale. Season 6, we don't know when it's coming up, but I could give y'all a first preview of the next episode for season 6, which is now will be the 100 episode celebration. Even though this will really be 141 episode, maybe a little more if we have a bonus, but we never have a celebration for making it to 100 episodes, especially for the main series. And we do have a special guest for the 100 episode, which I will announce now, which will be the season 6 premiere. And my guest for the 100 episode celebration will be the very first guest who was on my show. And I feel like she deserves a do-over, which will be my sister. Coach Danielle Powell will be my 100 episode guest. I mean, it's only right because, when she came on my show, I was shy. Even though she was my sister, I was shy because she was a guest either way. And she just started off her podcast. So imagine 3 years later and having a whole new interview. Even though she came to the show after that, on episode 8 of season 1. But imagine the growth that we both had within, the business-wise and the podcast community. So I look forward to talk to her for the season 6 premiere of Mr. Gentleman Like the Podcast, aka the 100 episode celebration. So once again, I will keep y'all updated on when we are returning. So thank y'all for listening to Mr. Gentleman Like the Podcast. Have a good day or night wherever you're listening to this episode. Cheers! Oh yeah, one more thing. I forgot to mention it during the episodes. Also, y'all, check out my article on the Shout Out LA article. You know, that's another big thing that happened this year that I forgot to mention. I don't know why I forgot to mention that, but check out the Shout Out LA article in the show notes. And once again, thank y'all, everybody. Have a good day or night, wherever you're listening to this episode. See y'all in season 6. Cheer!
Hi, this is Marsha, and you're listening to Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast.